As we approach spring, a lot of people like the idea of decluttering. This can be an overwhelming time or a wonderful time, depending on where you're at and how much energy you have and how important this is, and all different factors. And this is just a little journal to kind of help look into that and inquire into how you feel and why you feel that way. So, if you go on to this My Life Matters bonus slides decluttering, it'll be in your Google Slides, and we start off with page 1, and that's uploading an image. Now, it will be different on a tablet or phone, but on a PC, you go up to where it says insert image there at the top, if you can see where that little pointy hand is. And you can take some pictures just to remind yourself how far you've come. It can be really helpful, even if you never get any further than that, just to remind yourself where you started. And it means even if you clear one little bit, or, fix one side of the room, or just even clear one small area, you can see it in the picture then. So you can duplicate this slide as many times as you want to and add as many pictures as you want. But this is just the one for people who just want to put in 1 or 2 pictures. Just suppose I could tell you, to duplicate the slide, you just go down to duplicate slide, and the same exact slide will duplicate there for extra pictures as you want. The next page is just an inquiry, and these are questions to sit with and journal over and just think about. I personally recommend sitting in the space where you want to be, where you're thinking you'd like to declutter, and noticing how you feel about it. How do you want to feel about it? And, what thoughts come up when you think about decluttering? Do you feel enthusiastic, or are you more overwhelmed? And noticing what comes up and how you process that, knowing that there are no wrong answers. And then it's about how many steps do you need to break this down into. Sometimes it could be something as simple as just clearing out a drawer, or clearing one part of a bench, or looking through a specific area. Other times, for different people, it might be a case of just doing a little clear up, because maybe everything is pretty organized. So this will depend on where you're at in your journey. Do you feel a burst of energy, or do you want to just get stuck right in and get on with it? That's fine. And if not, if it's so overwhelming and you don't know where to start, maybe you kind of need to come out and think about the steps, and think about going back to that one drawer, or that one area, or that one space that you want to clear, and taking it right back. Simply emptying out your purse or handbag is decluttering. So you can start where you want, and you meet yourself where you are. And the idea is to nurture yourself through this process without allowing it to become too overwhelming. So then we have bringing in your divinity into this practice. So taking some time, choosing some music or silence or an audiobook, whatever you'd like to have, just thinking about that. Notice the space you have and how it feels to be in it. You can pull a tarot or oracle card if you'd like to, and bring in all the things you believe in and work with normally. Light a candle, burn some incense or herbs. Create the space energetically that you want, in whatever way you want to do it. This can be anything that just makes you feel at peace. If it makes you feel better to have the television on in the background, that's fine. It's whatever works for you. But if you're working spiritually, it might be a good idea to, think about what you're wearing, think about the smells, the sounds, make sure the window's open, those kind of things, just to bring in that sacredness into the work that you're doing. So you can play the sounds or allow smoke into the area that you're focusing on. You can burn herbs or incense, obviously being very careful, fire safety and all that. And you can open your windows and doors, let some air in, and make the space comfortable, ready for work. If you're someone who doesn't like the cold, it's okay to maybe open a window in a different room and then open the window when you're not in the room, or make sure you're wearing something warm, because you need to be comfortable as well. So it's taking your own needs into account and making sure they're met. Okay, so here's a tarot spread for clearing the space, just to even look further, especially if you're overwhelmed. So the current state of the place and the space, what is holding you back physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and what potential does the space have? And then if you have actual issues letting go of certain items, or if it's even, you can use this with if there's multiple items, like categories. Why are you holding on to this? What could happen if you let this go physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually? And what could you do with this space if you did let it go? And these are just ideas of things to put. You could even put these spreads out in the room and then, begin your decluttering and allow the cards to come into meaning as you work, if you're not sure exactly what they mean at the time. So setting an intention, you can click here and add in your intention. So there'll be more detailed intention setting slides in other journals, but think about how you want to feel in your space. Think about the energy and motivation you will require. Think about the time you have and how much you can dedicate to this. Think about the support you will need, and think about self-care. And this is all deletable. You can select in all the slides, I meant to say that, you can delete all this text and write in what you want, or you can duplicate the slides and write what you want, depending on what works for you. So I've actually written that there, delete these words and put your action plan here. And these are just things to think about. Do I need support? What support do I need? Do I have all the tools for the job? Where am I emotionally? What are my motivation levels? Should I begin with one small area, such as a drawer? Or do I feel a rush of energy to clear a whole room? So these are all things to consider before you begin. And then there's your space for an action plan. And where you'll start. So you can just write anything here. If you're overwhelmed, you could start with, I'm going to clear out my handbag, or I'm going to sort through some old folders or bank statements, whatever it is. It could even be emails. If you just can't face your actual room, you could delete emails or something, just to get you started. So enter your order or process here. Start with the obvious things that are broken or have not been used in quite some time. Unwanted gifts and things that are no longer fit for purpose. So you can start with the things that require little to no thought. Just get them out. Things that you know that you'll never use again. There's always going to be things like that in the house that can just go. And then this is connecting in more with the universe, and you can go on into this if you're into astrology and what's happening. And some people find a full moon is easier to declutter. Some people find when the moon's in Leo. It just depends. It's good to note that, just even if you note where the moon is at the time when you decide to start, just as a reflection. So what season and time of the month do you find you have more energy? A lot of people do find they get a bit of a lift in spring, a gentle lift, because we are still just emerging from winter. Hence why this is like a slower process depending on you and your own body and your own mind and soul and what's going on. Do you find it easier to declutter when you feel angry? So, sometimes when we're angry, we're a bit more ruthless and it's a bit easier to get things out. And that can come up in the premenstrual phase of your cycle. Some find the waning and new moon a time to set intention or do the planning. What do you feel is good timing for you? Be gentle with yourself. And then this is reflection. So you would come to this afterwards. How did it go? What worked? What didn't work? What went well? What would you do differently next time? How do you feel? Are you ready to start again? And that's really important because obviously it'd be good to know what works for you for future reference, so you can do things a lot quicker and more effectively in the future. How do you feel about your space now? How do you want to feel? How does the thought of decluttering make you feel now? And how enthusiastic or overwhelmed do you feel? So it's like the same questions as the start and just checking in with where you're at now. And these are just after pictures then. And although it says after here, there could be progress pictures too. You don't have to have a perfect space for this. It's just after you've done something pictures, if that makes sense. And again, you can duplicate that slide and work it whatever way you want. And same with the rest of them. You can delete the words and add your own and whatever you want to do. So this is the idea of this, is that it's customizable and you're able to use this journal in whatever way works for you, adding bits, taking away bits. And I hope that it helps. Let me know how you get along. And thanks for watching. Bye.